Nonetheless, whether you're starting your business for work and freedom or you're starting your business simply to get rich, you can't start your business without having a vision. Everyone has a vision. C.E. Woolman had a vision before he started Delta Airlines, and the like of all these different corporations that we actually know. What's the difference between us and them? Nothing besides one thing: a dream, a vision. And I think that's what's going to help you get past that place of making no money but having that freedom, or making a lot of money and not having freedom at all. Thank you so much for watching the Work and Play podcast. This episode is sponsored by the Boss Up Conference, which is a community for entrepreneurs, CEOs, celebrities, and corporate executives to come together, network, and solve some problems. Thank y'all so much for being supporters of the Work and Play podcast. And thank you for watching the Work and Play podcast and all the episodes before. Now let's get back to the episode. Welcome back to the Work and Play podcast. I'm your host, Ariel Young, and today's topic is actually inspired by a friend of mine's question who asked the following: are entrepreneurs more driven by the fact that they are working for themselves than they are by making money? Like, is it more about work and freedom itself than earning potential? And I think that's a really good question to hit on, because in this journey of careers, I feel like we're in a place where everybody, the entire consciousness, wants to be their own boss. I mean, I think everyone has an idea, everyone dreams, and everyone has that dream job. I don't think everyone allows themselves to dream big, but I will say that in this day and age, I believe everyone is starting to embrace that feeling of wanting to be their own boss. So I think that is also a zeitgeist that drives the passion to go into entrepreneurship for a lot of people in the millennial age group. Whereas when I think about entrepreneurship from our parents, so just the generation before us, I think a lot of it was to not work for the man. Now, we didn't have, our entrepreneurial parents and grandparents didn't necessarily have a blueprint that was already set out for them in terms of what success looks like. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs before us today really were in it for that freedom, that work and freedom to do something and have a good day's job done and be proud of the work that they actually put out there. And that feeling of freedom, I think definitely leads today's entrepreneurs as well. But I also feel like there's more of a desire to make a lot of money. And I think that's for two different reasons. One, social media. I've gotten so many questions about this brand, and I'm super excited to share that this episode is sponsored by Black is Wealth Clothing. Now, Black is Wealth was created to inspire and empower our culture to tap into our wealth. Now, when we talk about wealth, we're not just talking about financial wealth. We're talking about the strength, resilience, and brilliance that lives inside of all of us. Now, by tapping into our wealth, we can create any form of wealth that we desire. So if you like this shirt or any other shirt that you've seen me sport on my Instagram or any other platform, then go check them out at blackiswealth.com. I love this one, and y'all are going to love it too. Now let's get back to the episode. Social media creates this presence that entrepreneurship is glamorous. Entrepreneurship allows you, one, the work and freedom, but also a lot of money to live your life on a vacation 365 days of the year. Now, some people do live that way, but by and large, many don't. As a matter of fact, 90% of entrepreneurs make less than six figures. So that tells you that even though the mindset is shifting from just work and freedom to wanting that to reach that earning potential, a lot of entrepreneurs still aren't reaching their goals financially. So I think that's a really good place for us to just explore the fact that depending on where you are, I think entrepreneurship can be a struggle. And because a lot of times people are first generation college students, first generation corporate people, and now first generation entrepreneurs, it's important that you start your business with a vision. Because I think when you start your business with a vision, then that will ultimately lead your productivity and your job. And when I say your job, I mean your business. So when you think about why it is that you're going into entrepreneurship, I think you should not be thinking that you're going to make a lot of money off of the top. I think there are definitely mentors and coaches that will help you get there. And nowadays we have more successful entrepreneurs who are making six figures, who are now passing the torch and helping other younger entrepreneurs become six-figure earners as well. But that hasn't always been a thing. And it'll take some time for the culture to adjust to that as well. Hey y'all, let me tell you about my friends at Run the World Clothing. Run the World is a community empowerment brand that chooses to educate on Black history, Black culture, and Black radical thought through apparel and experiences. Run the World is a vessel to celebrate the Black experience for Black people and our allies. And I have on one of their latest pieces from this season's collection. So if you haven't seen Run the World Vic's episode on the Work and Play podcast, go check it out or go to their website to check out some of their apparel. Now let's get back to the episode. Nonetheless, whether you're starting your business for work and freedom or you're starting your business simply to get rich, you can't start your business without having a vision. Everyone has a vision. C.E. Woolman had a vision before he started Delta Airlines, and the like of all these different corporations that we actually know. What's the difference between us and them? Nothing besides one thing: a dream, a vision. And I think that's what's going to help you get past that place of making no money but having that freedom, or making a lot of money and not having freedom at all. Another thing that's important to touch on is that transition from corporate employee to entrepreneur, because sometimes revenue is not always the driving factor for people who have been in corporate America and then are going into entrepreneurship. For myself, for example, I wanted to make more of an impact, and there are entrepreneurs out there who are going into social entrepreneurship so that they can make more of an impact in their role and see that their work is actually making the world a better place. So that's where I was in my career, and that is why I went into entrepreneurship, and I'm only just beginning. So even though I have a larger vision of creating a program where other young people who are experiencing homelessness, as well as people who are experiencing incarceration and are recently incarcerated, and then just those who want to increase their socioeconomic status, that has been the vision that guides my life. And once I learned that vision, I couldn't let it go. I couldn't shake it. So it didn't matter the company that I worked for because it wasn't in alignment. But what I was able to do is go out into business for myself and start to build a foundation that will help me build my vision. So when you think about transitioning from corporate America to entrepreneurship, whether you're going to be doing it for that freedom, or you're going to be doing it for money, or you're going to be doing it for impact, there's one thing that I think it's important for you to consider, and that is, do you have what it takes to put in 1,000% into your business? So I was talking to my friend, and we were talking about, when you think about these projects that we work on, your whole team, you could work on a team of 5 people. And of those 5 people, let's say you really only do work one day. Well, of those 5 people, even though you only really work one day a week and the rest of the time you spend moving the mouse around to keep your computer available, the other portion of the time is actual real work. And so what you're going to want to do is, so as an entrepreneur, that one day of work for each employee on the team becomes 5 full days of nonstop work on your business. So when you think about going into entrepreneurship, do you have that vision? Do you have that dream that's going to keep you going when you get tired, when you get bored, when you get frustrated, or when you get 1,000 no's? If you don't have that dream, if you don't have that passion for entrepreneurship, I don't recommend jumping into entrepreneurship just because you hate your job. Hey guys, it's Ariel from the Work and Play podcast. If you're getting any value from this channel, and I mean anything from the tutorials to the podcast to the random videos that you see on this channel, then I just ask that you do one thing. Please subscribe. Subscribe and share this to anyone that you think this resonates with, and drop a comment below so I know what other things that you want to see next. Now let's get back to the episode. If you hate your job, the first thing I talk about in my coaching sessions is, what is the real problem? We have to reframe your mindset so that you understand, what exactly are you not happy with? Is it the job itself? Is it what you're doing? Or is it a few people at work that you wish that you could not work around? There are so many different components that make your job not likable, but that doesn't necessarily mean the solution is entrepreneurship. So before you consider going into entrepreneurship, I think there are a few other things that we can consider and explore together so that you can make that decision for yourself. But I'm going to leave it here because I think this topic is really good, and let me know what you think. Either drop a comment below or send me a DM at arielyoung_ so that we can talk about this a little bit more.